We did the laser quest. I thought I was amazing at that. Came out, thought I've done really well here, and I got the lowest score. And that was our get out of jail free card, because Jack went Catholic school. They'd always sign it off if I was going to the Vatican City.
Like I say, it fixes
problems.
This is what I mean. It fixes problems that aren't really problems. They're Kieran problems, but
hence why I'm trying to make a video for the cabin, and it's very short because I'm had about 5 wines.
Hello everybody and welcome to the latest episode of Magically Cruising and Travel Podcast, where we share our personal cruise and travel tips to help you make the most out of your next holiday. My name's Kieran, I'm an independent travel agent specialising in all things cruise, Disney and North America, and I'm joined by my fellow co-host.
Hi, I'm Sarah and I write all things travel and cruise over at Mini Travellers.
And today, Sarah, we're finally going to give you a chance to talk for an episode rather than listening to me all the time, because you've just come back from a cruise around, correct me if I'm wrong, the Greek Isles, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. Yes, on Odyssey of the Seas.
So we've been talking about this one for a while because it's been kind of changed, hasn't it? So originally you weren't going to do the Greek Isles. So should we maybe start off with telling us first where you've sailed and what ship you were on, but then the reason maybe why you changed and what you originally had booked?
Yes, so we sailed from Rome and we sailed to Turkey. Is it Kusadasi? I can never say that. So we did Turkey, we did Mykonos, we did Santorini, and we did Naples on Odyssey of the Seas. We were originally doing adventure. Was it adventure?
Or
Explorer?
I can't remember. It was Explorer.
It was Explorer. We were originally doing Explorer of the Seas out of Ravenna, which was an amazing itinerary. But I just kept looking at all the stress that people were going through getting to the port. And we really wanted to do Venice, but it just looked like a logistical nightmare. And we're travelling with my goddaughter who's autistic, an autistic adult. So she does get quite stressed, so we decided to move it to Rome, and it was really easy. Obviously not cheap for your transfers, but we just booked all private transfers and made it easy for ourselves, and I'm really glad we did.
No, I think in the long run you probably made the right decision. I know you were a bit heartbroken about losing the itinerary, but you know, it's still an incredible ship, isn't it? It still has a lot to offer. I know it's not probably either our favourite classes in the Royal Fleet. I think it's fair to say that, and I think Royal are aware of there are a few, like the Quantum class is a bit of an anomaly within the Royal Caribbean Fleet, but she does have a lot of things to look forward to on it, and I think the itinerary she does as well, though, are worth it because she does some brilliant ports. Yes,
definitely, and it's a double-edged sword because it's a great ship, a really great ship, but then there's things I think that they just, I mean, who am I? I'm no ship designer, but as a consumer, I think there's things missing. But then maybe, like, we kept comparing it to Celebrity and to Oasis class, and I kept saying to my friend, once you go on an Oasis, and I think that's the problem. Once I went in Oasis class, it ruined every other ship for me. It was still great. It's still a really great ship. So I don't want to put people off because actually, it's, you know, the ship's spotless. It's in great condition and it's got some really good activities, which we did most of them.
No, definitely. And like, she's the sister ship to Spectrum. And now I finally have context as well. So when we did the last episode where we talked about your cruise on Odyssey, I was going in completely blind. So I had no kind of sense of like any space or awareness and things like that. So I now have a better idea of the flow of the ship. And I think that's where the concern comes from with Odyssey. She is an incredible ship. And I loved Spectrum of the Seas so much. And she has so many incredible features like, you know, the North Star, the bumper cars. There are so many incredible pioneering features of her. I think it's your value of it and how much you enjoy is going to come down to how much you like outdoor space and pool space, which is where I think the class is lacking. But then the inside space for me is incredible. And I love the Esplanade and I love kind of exploring that. I know it's, again, everyone's got different perspectives on it, but I generally do like the class of ship. We're on Spectrum twice, so I wouldn't be booked on that if I didn't think the class is a good class. It's very different to the rest of the Royal offering.
Definitely. And the activities, I mean, I didn't rock climb because the day that I was going to rock climb, it was too windy. I was gutted.
Oh, was
it?
And
I didn't do the flow rider because I thought, I only took bikinis and I thought, I'm not doing that. But we did everything else and just there's so much going on. So, you know, it's one of those ships that there isn't much outside space unless you want to be like a sardine, which I hate.
Yeah.
We did find space one day right around the side, but back to Oasis class, there's loads of areas you can sit. There's bars that you can sit that are outside and you've got that outside space. And we did spend quite a bit of time in the Lime and Coconut upstairs, but it is noisy, and when that band's on, it's really loud. Yeah. So, that's what is lacking the outside space, but inside an activity is just phenomenal.
I think that's the thing, and I'm a big fan of like an outdoor bar lounge, especially like a sunset-facing one or an aft-facing one, and I think like North Star Bar's lush, but it's quite small, isn't it? So I don't know how busy it was for you. And in Spectrum, it was dead, but that's because the Chinese don't drink the way that, Europeans or Brits do. How was it for you, the North Star Bar? Was it quite popular?
It wasn't that bad. So that's now the Lime and Coconut on the ship, but the upstairs.
Oh, is it?
And we spent that is where we spent any time we spent outside drinking, and we did go there every day, and we spent a good hour there every afternoon. Yeah. Because we didn't sunbathe, but then it was in the sun all of the time, one side or the other. So every day we sat there, and no, it wasn't packed, actually. People tended to stay away from that bit because a lot of people were on their sunbeds and coming and going from the bar. So we'd sit there and play cards, have a few drinks, meet our friends. So no, it was actually great, apart from when the band started, and then it's like, you just can't hear.
A bit of a fishbowl in you. And like, it's a great feature. I loved it because people watching from that area, kind of the bar overlooking the pool, it is fun. But as you say, then if there's any sort of activity going on, it can overpower that kind of space a little bit, where it can feel a bit like there's too much going on. But this is the problem this is the feature of this ship. It's got very much a Marmite situation type of thing. And Marmite, for those who are listening from America, is this like spreadable yeast extract that's really popular in the UK, but people either love it or hate it. I just have to explain it because we use so many Britishisms, and not that I want to copy Emma's feature, but just when we say something's a bit Marmite in the UK, it's basically this like spreadable paste that people either love or hate. So it's quite a common expression to say, it's a bit Marmite.
I've had that on TikTok, and people are like, I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't think to describe it like that.
Do you get me? Like, I think we have to be aware that we do have a lot of like American listeners who probably haven't got a clue half the time what we're talking about.
Yeah, but it's like one day the international belly flop competition was on, and my goddaughter loves it, so they'd all gone to watch that, and like Fraser, he's not my godson, but he's my best friend's son, so it was his first cruise, and he just loved it. Well, he's coming again soon, and they all went off and watched the international belly flop. I sat in the Lime and Coconut with Whispering Angel and just read my book, so that was fine, and so it wasn't too noisy that I couldn't read. I just sat there reading.
Yeah, and that's when it works. If you're gaming, you can still keep an eye on the family if they're enjoying the pool facilities, or they're kind of, and you can still sit at the bar, and that's where it works. And that's where it's beautiful type of thing. It's got this great kind of, it's almost like a fishbowl, and it sounds negative, but it sounds like you've got that great place to watch people and things like that. So it's a great community ship. I think that's why I love it so much. You can kind of go from space to space, and people watch, and like there's a lot of atmosphere. I think that's what that ship does really well. Is it creates a great sense of atmosphere when you're walking around.
I will just add there that Ash and Fraser are adults. Kids are flipping in the pool, and their mum was there. But it is a great community space, actually. And I mean, did you skydive?
Skydive? No, I didn't. I just got what you meant then. I was like, skydive? What? Oh, yeah, the iFly, isn't it? Did you?
That was quite good, actually, yeah.
You've done that before as well, haven't you?
Yeah, but this time I thought, right, and I did it, and I really wanted it to end really quick. He was going, do you want longer? I was like, get me out. I've done it. I just wanted to do it, but I did it, and I managed to do it on my own for a few seconds. Felt like hours, but it probably wasn't.
Oh, I didn't think. I'm booked in a suite on Spectrum this November, so I think I may take advantage of that and be like, hi, can I have my suite access, please? You get priority access, don't you, to things like that? So.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, I may flash my suite card and be like, excuse me, can I jump the line?
It is brilliant. It is really good. It's worth doing. And once you've done it, it's better to do it than not do it. I mean, we did the laser quest. I thought I was amazing at that. Came out, thought I've done really well here, and I got the lowest score. When you buzz, you're actually dead.
Really?
I was shooting people.
I'm doing really well here. My jacket's vibrated all the time.
No, but there was these two little children, Scottish children. They were really cute with their dad, and they just targeted me. So I couldn't shoot them back. They were little, so everyone's going, "That's the game." I was like, "I can't shoot a child." So
I would. I'd be straight in there. I'd be rolling around on the floor and all sorts. Like, parkour. You can't get me.
It was brilliant. It was really good. So and there's so much like that on there. There's just too much. Not too much. There's so much to do that you can fill your day. And my friend's very good at, right, I booked in for this.
Really?
And the first day I thought, really? And then after, I was really glad that she was there because it's not stuff that I would have booked, and it was all brilliant.
Sure, this is what I'm realising lately, though. So where I've been invited on trips with other people lately, so like our recent Alaska cruise, we were with family as well. And it's not that it makes you do the trip, do things you don't want to do, but it maybe pushes you to do things you probably wouldn't normally do yourself. And you see a different side of the ship that maybe you get a bit, not complacent, that's the wrong word, but you kind of just get a bit comfortable doing the things you enjoy, which is, it's your holiday, that's what it's there for. But I've quite enjoyed the last couple of months or last couple of cruises doing things that maybe I wouldn't book. And seeing a different side of the cruising that, you know, even excursions, like being put on excursions with Virgin that I wouldn't personally pick, was lovely because I was like, oh my God, I've got over like this partial fear of heights now. I'm a lot more braver about doing, you know, high walks and things like that. And it's just been lovely to kind of try things I wouldn't normally consider.
Definitely. I mean, this is next podcast, but that thing you did, the zip wire,
the zip rider.
Insane. Yeah, that looks insane.
Yeah. So we'll talk about that in the next episode, because the next episode is probably going to be about Virgin again, because I've just come back from Alaska. But I think just because I wanted to go back to kind of Rome and things like that first, but I think just generally from that introduction, I think it sums up just how incredible this ship is for. I always say it's a good ship for teenagers, because it's got like a really good teen, young adult vibe on board type of thing with all the activities. So obviously you've got the famous wave rider, which most royal ships now have, but you've got the rock climbing you've mentioned, the skydiving simulator, there's dodgems on board the ship, and I feel like some of the specialty dining as well is definitely more kind of not sophisticated, but I think is really friendly for kind of those young adults who enjoy kind of experiencing kind of sushi and teppanyaki and things like that as well. So I always think like the Quantum class, if nothing, is brilliant for kind of young cruisers who maybe want to try cruising for the first time, but they're worried it's going to be boring, or if you've got teenagers especially and they want kind of all those extra activities type of thing.
Yeah, well, we met when we did teppanyaki, because that's great for meeting people, isn't it? And there was an Irish lady on there that her husband was working, so she'd taken her two children, a daughter and a son, and the son was super confident. He was called Ross. He was amazing. He made the meal. I felt sorry for the guy that does because he just took over.
Really?
He loved it, but then we saw him a couple of days later, and Chris and I, Ross! He's like, how are you? So he gets him a lift with us, and he's like, what was your favourite dining? And he was buzzing, and he'd done Wonderland, and he said it was brilliant. And he was living his best life on there. And when you see it, and our boys did when they were on it, it's a great ship for teenagers.
Definitely. I think it's a no-brainer. Like the Quantum class and the Oasis class are great for all families as well, but especially I think the features that kind of pioneered at least North Star and all that type of stuff. I think if you've got kind of thrill seekers, you know, adventure seekers, then I think this ship, pioneers that. Okay, so let's jump back to Rome, just quickly then. Just so you obviously embarked in Rome. How was that and how did you approach that? Where did you stay? How long? Not that we want to do a whole Rome episode. We'll do that separately, but just an overview of why and how.
So we stayed outside of Rome. I took a bit of a gamble and booked the Social Hub, which is part student halls, university halls, on the side of a college, university, and part hotel. So the difference was, did we stay 3 nights or 2 nights? I think we stayed 3 nights. So the difference is that it would have been £1,000 to stay in Rome, and this was £360. Wow.
Yeah.
And it was incredible. So you had to get a taxi into Rome, but that was €15. So we thought, well, by the time we paid the taxis, it's still cheaper. And this hotel is insane. Ultra modern. Because it was students, it wasn't expensive. So it was like £7 for a wine. And when you got a pizza, it was, I thought it was really cheap. But it was, it's quite new. So everything was, I'll get my link and I'll put a link to it. I'll get it, the post ready, and I'll get it done for when this goes live. So, it was, and because it was students, it depends on your outlook on life, but I love being around young people. And because it was students, it was buzzing, and like you're in the restaurant and they're all having a great time. So we did that, and then we just got taxis, Ubers in and out of Rome. And honestly, Social Hub Rome, I'll put a link below. I would thoroughly recommend it. I loved it. And then we did the underground tour of the viaducts, and we did the Sistine Chapel, and we did the Vatican Museum, and that blew me away. I mean, at one stage I was stood in the Vatican Museum and I could have cried. It was just like I was stood under a painting that Raphael's done, and it was just like, wow, it was phenomenal. So me, on Rome days I don't even get off the ship because I feel it's just too much, it's too far, it's too much faff. And we've been to Rome and we've done it twice on a port day. We've been there before and not gone to Rome, but I want to go back. I just fell in love with Rome. I mean, you've got to have your wits about you, but everything about it I just found incredible. Getting to the ship is expensive. So off the top of my head, I think we paid 280 euros.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
But that was for 6 of us.
Yep.
With all our luggage. So we could have got it a bit cheaper, and we booked welcome pickups. He was really good, just picked us up from the hotel, took us straight to the port. And I just wouldn't do the train. I know some people do, but for me, I am not getting to that ship sweaty and getting the train, getting the bus. So I just, Barcelona for me is you know how much I love Barcelona. It will always be my number one to go out of. But I will do Rome again just because I just loved spending time in Rome.
And this is the tricky thing in there, because Rome, for us at least in the UK, there aren't as many flights to Rome as there are to Barcelona, which I think is why the Oasis class from Barcelona is probably the biggest seller for Europe. But it is so incredible, and I'm so glad we did our port day in Rome. But the aforementioned, and we've talked about this on the episode when I did it with Virgin, it's just a pain to get to Civitavecchia, which is the cruise terminal, which is a good hour away from Rome. So a port day to Rome, just be very careful of how you do a port day from Civitavecchia into central Rome. Is one of those few times where I would say probably consider the cruise line packages, just because... never again.
We've got a whole episode on that.
Do you get what I mean? And we're doing it twice as well, and in the next 6 months, I think. So obviously we're on it in October, and we're on it ourselves together, aren't we, on Legend in May next year. And I think we're probably going to not get off the ship on this one in October out of just, I can't deal with that stress and anxiety, but we may do something closer to the ship when we go in May. Yeah. Depends on what you decide, Manju, because you're very good at planning days, port days.
Well, Chris really wants to do in Rancho Vecchia, but then I would do, because Royal now do a Rome on your own transfer.
Yes, and Virgin do as well, but it was sold out by the time we booked.
So I would do that. Yeah, I want to go back to the Vatican. Because when the kids were little, we went, but we never went in, because and that was our get out of jail free card, because Jack went Catholic school. They'd always sign it off if I was going to the Vatican City. So we had to go. We went, but we didn't go in. And I really want to do, because, they'd be like, yes, of course you can. So we... Oh, I thought I'd run a dog over then, sorry. So yeah, I definitely want to go back, because I want to do the Vatican. I want to do the Vatican Gardens. I think you'd love that. It's just phenomenal. And just like we did the Spanish Steps, Trevi Fountain.
What's that like now, actually? Because when we went, they were doing maintenance work and it was closed. So have they built this new bridge over it, or this new thing under it? Is that all open yet?
So we went in the thing under it, the viaduct. So we paid for a tour, and it was good, but it was meant to be all the viaducts, and we thought we'd be walking under Rome, but it's not. You go in the museums under and looking, and so it was good, but it wasn't necessarily what we thought it was. But our guide was phenomenal, and she did the Spanish Steps, or the columns, so she told us a lot about Rome, and so she was phenomenal. But then when you get to the Trevi Fountain, she knew where to stand, because everybody goes to this side. But you have to pay now to get in, and the queues were horrendous, and there's loads of pictures. Well, she got us all together before we went round and said, have you seen the videos on TikTok with pickpockets? It's horrendous.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
So, and she got us and said, they're everywhere. Put your bags on your front, be vigilant. And you know what I'm like. I'm super uber aware of pickpockets. But she got us round the other side, because everyone's trying to get to this side, and we got a good photo. So we're lucky. And I went in, and there was an American family on our tour. So I sort of stood and was like, swap. So we were all like swapping.
God.
So we got our good photos and then got out of there. But, you could see that there was another lady on our tour, an Australian lady, and she got quite anxious because it was 10 deep. It was...
Really?
But it's so beautiful.
It is, isn't it? It's not that big, actually, as well, though. Like, it's impressive. I'm not saying it's not. But it's not a big courtyard around it, if you get what I mean. It's quite compact, isn't it?
Well, because it was just a royal family. And this is the stuff, when you do a tour, that built it on the end of their house. Like, who thinks...
Oh, really?
Build that on the end of the house? It was so,
and then it becomes a global landmark, like.
Yeah. So we did all stuff like that. And we went through all the fountains. Because all the fountains in Rome you can drink out of.
Can you?
Because it's all from the Virgin Viaduct. Yeah,
no way, I didn't realise that.
But because it's natural spring water that fed Rome. So I definitely recommend doing tours. But yeah, I loved Rome, loved it, and I do want to go back.
This thing, and it's probably worth, if you're going all that way to sail from Rome and you're making the effort to, it is probably worth considering adding on a couple of days to make the most out of it type of thing. It's a wonderful port day and you can do it. You just got to have a plan. But definitely pre-cruise is probably the better way to do it, because then you're doing the Fafi, Civitavecchia, Rome transfer once on a day where you're not as pressured, rather than trying to get back in time for the ship type of thing.
I know, which is stressful. But then Turkey, that was we went quite a way out. So I suppose that's only the same thing. Ephesus is in, I bet it was about 40 minutes from the pool.
So what did you do then in Turkey? Because I think that's on our cruise next year, actually. So
we did. So we booked a guide. I read lots of reviews about this and about how they really pressure you. The one thing I did feel in Turkey that I didn't feel in Italy and Spain is it felt a lot safer. It doesn't seem, they don't have the same pickpocket problems, it doesn't seem. There's not lookies everywhere. So they must have a better hold on issues like that than anyone else, because you weren't worrying about and looking at people thinking they're going to nick my bag. But we did a tour and we came out and he was there with our card. We had a private tour. But it was a bit cheeky with it, because we were going to the Virgin Mary's house, so we went to see Mary, and we did. And I weren't bothered about that, but that was, I'd say, life changing when you're there and you think, wow, you're in it and you're not allowed to speak. It's complete silence. Yeah, it was beautiful, and it's like it's got a convent, and that's where Mary is said to have gone when she was banished, because obviously she had to leave Jerusalem. So we did that, and then we went to the ancient city of Ephesus, which is, I'd say, nearly as big as Pompeii.
Yeah, it's a really popular tourist mark, isn't it, on the maps too?
I'd say it's more beautiful. I'd say it was phenomenal. So our guide was amazing, but on the way in, he's going, there's a WhatsApp chat, and on my WhatsApp chat, it's saying that it's really busy at Mary's, really busy. So I'm going to take you to a little market with a fashion show, and you're going to get a free drink. And you think,
God,
no, you're not.
Right.
And I went, no. And our friends with us were a bit like, well, we should. And I was like, no, that's not what we've paid for. No, thank you. Well, it'll be busy. It'll be busy. And I said, no, would rather queue. So we gets there, and it's not busy. If we'd have gone, so it's just a ploy. If we'd have gone later, it would have been busier. So we did that, come out, went to Ephesus. That was amazing. He was very knowledgeable. He was excellent. Comes out. I said, right, back to a ship now. He went, oh, no. I want to take you to a carpet weaving thing. And I've read about these carpet weaving things. They're meant to be very pushy, very trying to sell you carpets. I said, oh, no, thank you. We don't want to do that. We've done what we paid for.
Yeah.
Thank you for offering us extra, but no. And he got a bit stroppy.
Really? Because they're all on commission, isn't they? This is the downside to it. They get commission of everything they pass on, and I'm a sucker for a tourist trap. Like, I fall for a tourist trap all the time.
No, I get angry. I get rage if someone's trying to push me. My friend was like, I was really scared because you were getting really mad with him. And he's on the mic going, well, you've come to my country and you don't want to see your culture. And I'm saying, we booked a tour in your country. No. And that made me more. And I said, we want to go into town and see the local. Don't go into it. But he was saying, don't go into town, and the port area is too expensive. So he was trying to push us to go to the places he was getting commissioned to go. And I'm going to fill out a review. It made me really cross. But we went into town. Town was lovely. I mean, I didn't I don't want a fake bag. There was lots of fake shops. But, went to a bar, a restaurant. And it wasn't expensive. It was lovely.
Yeah.
So, you've just got to watch that with tour guides. And I'd say if I give you one tip, it's be quite firm with him, because he wasn't taking no for an answer. And he guilt-tripped us the whole way back.
This is something I learned the hard way as well. When we did Bodrum, we did a port day with Virgin on Bodrum, and they got the genuine fakes markets. And I was just too soft. Like, they seen me coming, but I'm a really bad negotiator as well when it comes to things like that. They are very aggressive, but it's never done in a violent way. It's just done in a banter way, and they are very firm, and they're used to haggling. Apparently, it's just a massive part of their culture to haggle, and it is a game. My mother plays them like a fiddle. My mother reduced them down to like 10% of what they were asking for.
My dad can do that.
I was like, yeah, sure, take the full price. Like, I'll take it, sure. Sounds like a bargain, because it's £5 cheaper than it would be back home. So, I think you just have to be, as you say, more confident than probably I am, and be a bit more like blunt with them, because that's just their culture. They're very direct and blunt, and the banter and the haggling and all that stuff is just part of their culture. And you just either have to go knowing that, or just accept that that's just how it is.
Well, we went into one shop and I wanted a little straw bag, and I was happy to pay quite a bit for it, because I want it so that I can take it on every cruise to go with everything. So goes in one shop and it was all fakes. And I was like, I don't want one with a logo on. But this woman was chasing me around the shop, shoving bags in my hand. And in the end, I went, I'm going and I'm not going to buy because you're pushing me too much. And she's like, chasing me out the shop with a bag. Chris was laughing his head off because he knows that I get rage when I'm being pushed. But then when we went into the little port area, they weren't like that as much. And, you know, we went in some lovely shops, got some lovely souvenirs. And we went into one chocolate shop and the man was so sweet. So, yeah, it is culture, but people should really realise that if they push you, you're less likely to buy.
Oh, totally, yeah.
I loved Turkey. I loved Ephesus. It was phenomenal.
I think we're doing it with Virgin next year, I think, on our Eclipse cruise.
Go.
I need to double check. Well, I think we've got a port day there, so I'm definitely going to do an excursion there, I think, just because we want to try and see more of the ports we go to now.
It was beautiful. And just, you've got all these Roman columns and Roman buildings, and you think, how did they not only get them up, but how did they do all that sculpture? But the floor's really slippy because it's all marble. But all those years people walking on it, it's polished. So, but no, it's just phenomenal. I'd recommend anybody that goes to Turkey to go to Ephesus. And Virgin Mary's house was, I can't even describe it.
It looked really pretty, actually. You posted it, I think, on your stories. I don't think you've done a post yet, have you? But you've done it to your stories, and it was one of the few. Because time difference on our trips was difficult. So I think I saw it the one time, and I was like, oh, there the actual Mary's house, I commented.
Yeah.
You know, Mary.
Mary. I wasn't over bothered for going. I thought, it'd be nice. But it was beautiful, and it was just so peaceful, and you felt like, I don't know. It was lovely. I believe, but I'm not over religious, and I felt overcome in there. It was beautiful.
There are certain places like that do. They have a certain energy around them, and whether it's because you buy into the subconscious of like, this is a special place, so you have to think it is, I don't know. But there are certain places, I think, where there's just so much history and so much kind of culture there that you do feel like, oh, this is a bit special. And I think this is why I love cruising. And I know we're a cruise podcast, but I love when you go somewhere like that and you come across these really kind of like, they've been there for decades. There's a lot of history there. And you think you're one of thousands and hundreds of thousands of people who have visited that one place for this one reason. And it just creates this sense of like, this is something special. This is cool.
Yeah. And it's like the Vatican. Like our guide, who was a Vatican official guide, and they're best to get them. She was a historian. She was brilliant. And she said that they've recorded since Pope Leo. It is Pope Leo, isn't it? The new one.
Sure, the current
They've
one.
recorded 3 miracles.
Really?
That's mad.
Yeah.
Again, it's something you got to buy into, but just for that as a city just blew my mind.
We need to go. We saw it from afar, but we just didn't think we'd have enough time, so we chose to skip it and concentrate on Rome itself rather than go to Vatican City. But you can do it on a port day with the cruise lines, but it's probably something you should do as an excursion, I reckon.
You've got to, because you've got to skip the line. The lines are massive. Why don't we do the gardens?
We should do. We should definitely do something. I haven't even looked to see what's available.
Or the Basilica.
We should do something, because it'd be a shame to stay on the ship, definitely. I think, have to go in that far. If we can do something where we know we're going to get back on time, I'm happy to do
definitely.
it.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of the ship then, so let's talk about your cabin. Sorry. So which cabin did you have? I saw your tour video today on Instagram, but do you want to tell the guys what cabin you had?
Yeah, so we had a balcony cabin, and obviously I drove you mad with that, didn't I? Because I booked it and then was like, it's too low. And I'm really glad I changed it. So we were on deck 10. And the problem is with Odyssey of the Seas, with a lot of the Royal Caribbean ships, the ships are sort of tucked into the promenade deck. And that, they're not. They're sort of stuck on the side. They stick out a lot more. So if you're on deck 6 and 7, you're looking over onto them. I'd say deck 6, you probably... It's like they're there. So even on deck 10, when you're standing there, they're so obtrusive. So we did a deck 10 cabin. It was brilliant. I mean, the only thing that, because we have to walk the stairs rule, and that made it hard sometimes.
Really?
But then I suppose actually, because you're going up to deck 17. But yeah, we were making sure we were doing 10 decks a day at least up.
I was so bad in Alaska. I think I took the elevator 9 times out of 10. I was just like, nope, I'm jet lagged. I'm taking the elevator. I don't care. No. Judge me.
No, we are definitely do the stairs where we can. And so yeah, the cabin was great because it's modern. Like compared to Allure of the Seas, that was quite. It was a really dated cabin.
Yeah.
But this had really modern, massive shower. I took my own shower gel actually, because last time I went on Odyssey, the shower gel was rubbish. It was really
shower
dry.
gel on Royal is bad. Yeah.
But actually, this one was better.
Really?
I used that and not used my own and left my own for the cabin steward in the end because it was really nice. So, but that's my big beef with cruise lines is if you go into a nice hotel on land, you get, say like a H10, you get a little bag, you get some amenities, you get a shower cap, which I do use. You get nice shampoo and conditioner and you get moisturiser.
Yeah.
You get nothing.
Yeah, Royal's really not bad. Bad's the wrong word, but it's lacking on what includes amenity-wise on Royal. In the shower, that is.
They used to do it all. It used to. So it's a cut they've made that I know that, all right, the hotel isn't giving you, I don't know, a pod maybe, what's it called, the North Star. They're not giving you all that. So I suppose that's the trade-off, isn't it? But yeah, but it actually this time was better.
I have kept, actually, because I had a little hand lotion in my cabin on Spectrum. I'm pretty sure. I don't know where it was, whether it was in the bathroom or not. So I did have mini toiletries on Spectrum. And the hand lotion I keep in my travel bag, my day-to-day bag, in case I get dry hands. And it's still lasting me. So there's quite a decent amount in there. I don't know what it is at the moment, actually. So I didn't take it to Alaska. I was like, I can't take Royal Caribbean stuff onto Virgin. I think I'll get kicked off the ship.
Yeah. No, we didn't get moisturiser. Which is just one of the things you've then got to carry, and I do moisturise, so I needed it. But I'll tell you a really good tip. Let me just find it on my Amazon. So, because the hairdryers aren't great, are they? But I got this travel dryer, and I was looking at travel dryers because I've got really thick hair. It takes ages to dry. And I was going to get a Dyson because I love my Dyson dryer. Yeah. And then I saw the reviews for this one.
Has he got a diffuser? Because you may be influencing me to buy one, because I was watching a video I filmed for my upcoming vlog, and my hair's just been done and I look like a drowned rat. And I was like, I think I need to invest in a diffuser for when I'm on the ship.
It doesn't have a diffuser. No, it doesn't. But you can probably get a travel one. But this dryer is brilliant.
I love the tangents we go on this podcast. Like, even we never know where we're going to end up on this podcast.
But I really want to share this because you can get wood diffusers. Because it's a brilliant, brilliant dryer. It's the Babyliss folding hairdryer, and it was £20. And it is really fast, really fast.
I think it's one of them, if you depend on a hairdryer, at least anyway, the cruise ship ones can be a bit crap. Virgins aren't too bad, but I can't remember any of the cruise lines because I rarely bother, because I've just given up trying. I'd rather blow on my hair, to be honest. I got more chance of trying if I blew on it.
And you're like, because you're curly, I'm curly. So it just, by the time it's dried my hair, it's gone curly. It's just a nightmare where that is... I'm going to go out on the limb and say it's nearly as good as my Dyson that I use at home, which cost me 600 quid. It's brilliant. It's brilliant. And I nearly bought the Dyson travel dryer. So, yeah, 20 quid. Brilliant.
So, let's talk about dining then.
Yes.
So, did you do... We know your thoughts on buffets, but did you venture in there? Did you do speciality? And did you do main dining?
So, we went in the buffet once, and... the week before we went on, there was a big gastro thing. And obviously when you're in the Facebook, you can see that people have been really ill. And it's one of those things, it's, the ship can be as spotless, can't it? But people still get gastro bugs. Yep. So I was super paranoid. But you know what I'm like. I don't touch handrails. I'm like using my elbow to press the buttons for the doors. I am quite vigilant. Because on Oasis of the Seas, I don't know if I had a gastro or whether it was gluten. I still don't know. And I was really poorly. But the ship was spotless, absolutely spotless. You can't fault how clean the ship was. But the first day we went in the buffet, because we usually did go in the buffet, have a bit of lunch when we get on, have a glass of wine. And there was a lady walking around eating food and then using the tongs. And I thought, this is why I don't go in here. So I never went in again.
It's so bad. And we've been talking about this a lot, me and Phil, lately, of just like, is it that cruising is getting too big? There are too many people now, or is it just that people are getting worse on cruise ships? And I hate generalizing everyone, but buffet behavior and bathroom behavior on cruise ships needs to be studied, because the number of people who don't wash their hands going in or out of a bathroom, or don't wash their hands going in and out of a buffet, and they don't realize that cross-contamination is such a big risk on a cruise ship. It's even making me, as a fan of a buffet, not want to use the buffet.
Yeah, I mean, Chris hates buffet as well, but I don't know if that's just because I hate it. So our friends went every day for breakfast, and they love it. They really love the buffet for breakfast, where we get a bit of fruit and coffee on the balcony, and Chris would get pastries, I'd get yoghurt, and that would do us. And on a sea day, we'd We use the main dining room for brunch, and because you can get your poached eggs on toast with a bit of avocado.
Nice.
So I did that, and they were really good because they don't actually offer that on the menu. It's all
do
like
they
eggs
not?
Benedict, but because I don't want all the sauces and gluten-free toast, and I said, can I have gluten-free toast, poached eggs, and avocado? Chris just was like, not even on
that's
the
a
menu.
good tip actually for Phil.
Yeah.
Oh, and that's a good tip though, because that's what Phil loves.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they got it. I said, if it's not a problem, no. And they was like, no, we get it. And they got it. They were brilliant. So we used it more for brunch. We went twice at the night. The first night, brilliant. The second night, the service was excellent, but I ordered the steak, so paid extra. And when it came, it was just like a lump of gristle.
Really?
And I called them over and said, I can't eat that. I'm really sorry. And they got the chef out and everything. I felt really embarrassed. But I couldn't have ate it. It was. I've never seen anything like it. I mean, it was like fillet, and it was just. You look and you like, oh, it was just fat. Yeah, it was obviously just an error. Anyway, the chef come out and I said, look, because my son's a chef. I said, I'm not. These things happen. Just replace the steak and I'll be fine. But I was eating my steak while they were all eating their dessert. So they took it off the bill. So it wasn't a problem. But they're busy, aren't they? And this is the thing in these bigger ships. They're really, really busy and they work so hard. You cannot fault them because they're doing their best and they're working hard. And the food was great that we had. Everybody had great food. But just that one steak, and the next steak they got was melt in the mouth. It was beautiful. After that, we did teppanyaki. It was weird because there wasn't as many Americans on. There was a lot more Hispanic, Italians. And the difference, because all the speciality dining will buy one, get one free.
Oh, were they?
Yeah.
Oh,
so I'd booked
interesting.
up front. So I was a bit. It's like my friend said, well, you win some, you lose some. You can't really say anything
This is
about
the risk,
that.
isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. So I'd booked teppanyaki, but then one night we went Giovanni's because it was buy one, get one free. So we did that. We did Playmakers twice, obviously. Might have done it 3 times actually. Might have gone for lunch as well. But I did have ribs. I did have the wings sometimes, not the burger every time. So we did do a lot of speciality dining. Our friends went to Chops, said it was amazing. So for me, I love the speciality dining, so I would always do that. But yeah, you could just see the difference on this ship. They weren't dead. They were still busy, but they, like, if you're going out of the Caribbean, you've got a book or you can't get on it. So there's a big difference.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because I always wonder who is actually booking Odyssey, if you're gaming from a demographic point of view. And Royal will never officially release any of this stuff. But I have wondered, is it mainly Americans coming over? But with the fuel crisis, and it's not really a crisis. I don't want to talk about it as a crisis because it's the non-crisis. There's a perception around the fuel crisis, on flights. And I do wonder if a lot of people are avoiding booking long-haul flights out of a fear of them being cancelled, which is not an issue. I need to stress this so much. It's a sidebar, but it's not as big of an issue as the media is banging on about it. But it has hurt flights. People are afraid to commit to flights and book long haul because they're worried about the price increases, which it isn't a thing yet. So anyway, that's the sidebar. No. That's another, how many tangents can we go on? But I do wonder, is it affecting who's booking this? And are Royal then having to incentivize things like the pre-cruise planner or the onboard incentives to fill up things that maybe aren't selling? Because for the first time since October, the drinks package for our October Legend sailing has been below £1,000 for the two of us. And it's not been below £1,000 for 6 months.
How much is it per day? What's that?
66, I want to say.
Yeah, because for the one we're going on, is it 890 odd?
I haven't looked. It sounds so bad. I've got so many I can't keep up. But we're focused on the 2 coming up at the moment this year.
I know, 87, but I'll wait for that to go to 60 odd.
Yeah, it's pretty much been that since we booked it, basically, the May one. And then the one for October went down really low just as I was in China, which was annoying because I had no money in my bank account to add it. And then literally they've done the final last week, did a really good deal on it. So Phil's added it. He's paid for it at the moment, so we've got it sorted. And I'm like, great, it's finally below 1,000 because it was just like an eye-watering amount of money. It was almost 1,200 for the two of us.
You know that if it goes lower, you can cancel and rebook it, don't you?
Yeah,
I did that 3 times last cruise.
Did you?
Yeah.
We think July 4th, they say, is usually the July 4th is when they usually do some sort of crazy deal as well. So we'll keep an eye on it then. And the problem is, and this sounds like such a egotistical thing, we've got so many Royal Caribbean cruises in, we get notifications saying like, there's a sale on. I'm like, which one? Tell us.
Yeah.
Which one? And then having to go through the app and check every single voyage to work out which one's got the sale on. But at the moment, the key is also as well, it's gone back up again, but it was down to £23, and I was going to add it back when it was 23 quid, but it's gone back up to £30 per person per day now.
I just don't know why you'd need the key. I don't get the point of it, really.
Do you know why? Because I hate waiting in line for things, and the key allows you to skip lines for pretty much everything, and you get reserved seating for all the shows, because I am like lastminute.com person. I will turn up last minute to everything. So the key, having a reserved area for you, solves problems that I would need to fix.
Do you know, I don't think I've ever had to queue on a Royal Caribbean cruise for anything, even getting on the ship. I've never had to queue. So people pay for it. And I know, right, you get lunch and chops and stuff like that, but I don't know. I mean, some people love it, don't they?
I know. Everyone tells me off all the time. You tell me off all the time for buying it, but I'm always like, I will always consider it. Definitely. I'll be like, that extra £8 per person per day fixes two problems I have. Bad timekeeping. And you see embarkation, that embarkation lunch, and it's not the most exciting lunch, to be honest. Apparently it's the Chops brunch lunch. I now know. But it just is so nice to get on the ship, just take it to the main dining room, have a nice chilled meal. Your bags are taken to your room, your backpack's taken to the room. You're not stressing on that first day and sitting in the stairwell like everybody else is, type of thing, and tripping over people. So, like I say, it fixes problems. This is what I mean. It fixes problems that aren't really problems. They're key-run problems, but
hence why I'm trying to make a video for the cabin, and it's very short because I'm about 5 wines.
This is why I usually do my cabin tours the last day, the morning we're getting disembarked. Just because, well, Virgin's a late ship, so we don't get off until 10:30, so it's not too difficult to do on a Virgin ship. But on other ships, I forget, and then, like you say, I'm panicking the last night after we packed our suitcases and it's pitch black outside. I'm like, this isn't exciting to do. But yeah, that's why I don't do them as soon as we get on. I usually wait until a couple of days in and then do a ship tour.
Yeah, food-wise, brilliant, I'd say. It's really, really good food. Really enjoyed all the food, the service. Giovanni's had the steak, just amazing. Teppanyaki, you know how much I love teppanyaki and Playmakers. So it's just, I know that's like we're doing the similar thing, but it just feels different every time. And Chris is just sports mad. So for him, that when there's a match on, we can all go and have dinner, and it's just, I really enjoy Playmakers. I enjoy the vibe. I
haven't been on a ship that's really had it, to be honest, because Wonder does, but I wasn't on Wonder for very long. So I'm looking forward to seeing it. I don't think Legend has it, though. Well, let's not go into the sidebar. Let's not go into the sidebar again. We'll talk about that when we get on Legend.
No, I think it has. I think it will do. But so we also stopped at Santorini, but you know my thoughts on Santorini. We didn't get off.
Yeah, did you get off? No.
Because obviously you could buy another tour. Now they've got this other tour that they've got the beach club, but then you can do a tour that you pay.
They changed how beach club works now, don't they, as well? Because beach club was when we talked about it, it was an experience whereby you did the coach and then the tour and then the beach club. Whereas now I think you can just pay just to go to the beach club instead, can't you?
Right. I don't think it's been selling because it was well cheap in our thing. They've really discounted it, but I just thought I don't want to go to the beach anyway, so I'm not. I want to go to Santorini, not on a ship. And I know as a real cruise fan, that's like really bizarre.
I get it.
And our friends went and they really wanted to go, and they come back and they said they had a lovely day, got to the top and everything, but they just said you just couldn't walk. It was busy.
It's exhausting.
We went to Mykonos, and I'm really good in Mykonos. I look at where everyone's going and I go the opposite direction. And we do that, and I've got all the photos of all the dead little winding streets, and there's still shops on them. Because people are like sheep, aren't they? They follow each other.
Yeah.
But look at where they're going.
They go to the Venetian waterfront, isn't it? Towards the waterfront area, which is where everyone goes. And you're literally like not elbowing, but you're kind of like, small streets and everything. Whereas if you generally go left and inland, as you say, there are so many little courtyards with beautiful little restaurants, cheaper as well, like really cheap drinks and food.
A lot
Half
cheaper.
the price cheaper,
Yeah, because last time we went with the boys, it cost a fortune for drinks. And this time I was getting nice Greek wine. I always try to get the wine of the country. And it was lovely. And we stayed there quite a few, and it was €7 a drink.
Yeah.
And I thought, I got my wicker bag and a lovely shop where the lady wasn't harassing me. And that was, I don't know, €30-40, but it's beautiful. So and I bought 2 bags there. But everything's handmade there. And I found it this time a lot cheaper than it was last time.
Do you think? I don't know how it's been hit, to be honest, if it's been hit hard by the tourism, downfall. I don't know. I don't. It's not somewhere that I come across quite often because I don't sell much land holidays to Mykonos. It's generally cruises. So I couldn't say no bookings are down. I've not heard anything. There is a lot of concern about booking volumes this summer, but everything's selling well as far as I know.
I loved it every bit as much this time as I did before. It's just a beautiful, very easy pool. And the people are lovely. It's just so nice.
Yeah, I love Mykonos. I think it was the highlight. I love Santorini as well. It's a faff, but I love it. But Mykonos definitely is a highlight for me. And as you say, getting off. I loved, though, as much as it is expensive and it is busy, I loved our time, though, on the Venetian waterfront side of it. And we were in a cocktail bar overlooking the ocean. It is iconic and stunning, and I think you should try and do it. But definitely don't plan your entire day around being there because you will, A, spend a fortune, and B, the novelty wears off quite quick, and some of the nicer places are off the beaten path. Some of the really lovely gift shops we found were off the beaten path towards the back of the island or the back of the town rather than on that waterfront area.
Yeah, we went right up. So we went along Little Venice at first, like by the back of it, and then went right up, round, did that beautiful church. I can't think of it. Is it Agiost? That looks over the water, and then went round the back of that to the windmill. So we did all that. Then it's just beautiful. So
I love Mykonos.
It was lovely. And then we did Naples. A tip, if you're going to Capri, book your ferry because we got there an hour before and it sold out already.
Really?
Yeah, so we didn't do Capri. So we said, right, okay, which one should we do? So we did, is it Ischia? So we went over there, and that is where all the Italians go. So Chris was a bit miffed because it was an hour on the ferry rather than 35-40 minutes. So, but you can also do, what's the other one? There's another one. Not Sorrento, it's the other side. I can't remember the name of it now, but I can't remember. But that's near Capri. I do want to do that next time. We'll do that. Or we'll do Capri. But so we went to this Ischia, and it's where all the Italians go, so it's really quiet. It was like there was no tourists really, and just like Italians on holiday, and it was beautiful. Beautiful.
Which I think that's a different charm, doesn't it? Because you're getting more of a local experience rather than kind of the tourist experience. And there's a difference between kind of local tourist and international tourist. There's a very different vibe between the two.
Definitely. It was very chilled. We sat in a lovely restaurant, had a lovely big salad and drank wine, wandered the streets.
Nice.
I'd like to go back because they've got thermal baths, they've got a castle, but we didn't leave ourselves long enough because it was quite a long journey. But it was a lot because we paid €80, so it was a lot to be there only 3 hours, but you've got to just do something different every time. So we did it, and it was brilliant.
Because I've never been then. So explain it then. Sorry, is this something you chose to do further afield on purpose, or can you just get off the ship and do the local area as well? Sorry, because I've never been.
What, in Naples?
Yeah, just because you've mentioned about having to get the ferry and everything. That's not a requirement, is it? Not everybody has to do that. You can. There is stuff.
So when you get off at Naples, you can book and get your guide on the cruise ship. So you can do Pompeii. You can walk up into Naples. I love Naples. And I'll tell you what, Chris wants to do the catacombs next time. So you've got all of Naples, all the old town. You can go left and you've got all the Longomare, which is up there. It's a bit like being on the Amalfi Coast, but there. Then you can go to the ferry port, which is 5 minutes from the cruise port walk. And you get a ferry. So you can get a ferry to Sorrento, Capri, Ischia, I think you say it, and Positano and Procida. That's where I want to go. So you've got all these different islands. It's a bit like the Cinque Terre. You've got all these different islands you can go to. But Capri's the one. I think that's the busy one that sells out. So whether I want to do that or not when there's quieter ones, I don't know.
I am listening. I'm just checking because I think, and this is only me putting two together because Phil's booked this, but I think this is the port we're going to. Yeah, we'll go in there. I didn't go in there in October.
Naples.
So Phil's actually booked a royal excursion for us because he wants to do Pompeii. So we've got Sorrento on your own and Pompeii as the excursion. It's not cheap, but it is what it is.
No.
But it includes the coach to Sorrento, where apparently we're going to do wood carving demonstration.
Oh.
Free time to explore, and then they take you on a guided tour around Pompeii then as well, and then obviously take you back to the ship.
Sorrento.
I know we
amazing.
could probably do that ourselves, but do you know what is weird? The more we're cruising, the more I've become just let the ship handle it. And I used to be quite vocal about like, just be careful about booking cruise excursions because you can find them cheaper elsewhere. There's just nothing quite like, though, the cruise putting your tickets in your cabin, telling you where to go. Sometimes these are problems I'm happy to fix. And we did it on our last Alaska cruise. We just literally booked excursions with the ship for every single one of them. And on the whole, it was just lovely because they were like, great, don't have to worry about it. Where am I going? You could spend more time focusing on, you know, sightseeing and things like that because they do a lot of the heavy lifting, especially if it's somewhere new to you or you want to kind of make the most out of it. If you're worried about making the most, sometimes it is just worth paying the ship premium. But yeah, I just as soon as she said, I was like, I'm sure I'm going there. This sounds familiar. And I was like, oh yeah, because we're doing it.
Yes, we got the ferry to Sorrento last time, and I just loved it. I fell in love with Sorrento. We did Pompeii years ago, but we've been going to Naples for years and years and years. So it's one of my it's my favourite cruise port. So it's just, I love it. And a lot of people really don't like it, but what you don't realise is what you can do from Naples is phenomenal.
I think one of my customers today, and he said he didn't like it, but I think he went into is there like a downtown area? And is the downtown area a little bit rough?
It's gritty. They've got a problem with pickpocketing. They've got the dirty streets like you've got in Rome. But I think
that's what he did, and he literally went to the dirtiest street he could find. I was like,
yeah, and my friend said that.
Like, you were unlucky. You went to the wrong place.
But I love that when you come out and you go through it all, and you go through the gallery. I can't remember what it's called. It's a shopping centre, but the roof is just stunning. And then you go up, and you're in all these dirty, gritty streets, but they've got shops But when you look up, you've got people, putting their washing out and washing lines and pulling. It's Italy. I love it.
Yeah.
I love Italy.
And it's like anywhere you go, though, any port in any part of the world, you can go there. You can find the rough areas and you can find like the really pretty, picturesque areas. And we bang on about it. There's a reason why we do this podcast is to share what we learn with everyone so that you kind of skip those parts or you look for the headlines. But there's a reason why blogs like yours are so important as well, though, because, again, you're sharing your tips of what you've learned with people so that they're not going down the dodgy back alleys and getting, into the heavy pickpocket areas or falling for tourist traps. This is why it is so important to do a little bit of research, however much you're comfortable doing, to kind of just make sure that you're having the best time in port, because it can make a big difference to your holiday.
It can. And it's like Chris So wants to go to Capri, and we come out, we were an hour early, thought, right, I'd filmed it all, right, today we're going to Capri, I've got all that to do yet. And then I got there and it was like sold out. So we were like, right, pick one. Which is the next one going? So that's why we did Ischia. And then I had to go out again and film. So today we're going to Procida. But I'm really glad I went because it was funny. I went into a shop, not funny, it was not funny at all, but went in to buy some meloncello. Have you had meloncello?
No, is that melon flavoured?
Gorgeous off license. So they had limoncello, and it was doing tasting. So I went and said, "Can I try some?" And I thought, well, I'll get some for Joe's girlfriend, get some for me. And they had like melon and strawberry, but it's like in milk, a liqueur.
Okay.
Oh my God! So I was trying loads. And there was a pistachio. Didn't like that. Yeah, that weren't good. But then he said to me, "Where do you live?" And I said, "Near Manchester." And he went, "Oh right." He said, "I've been to Manchester." I said, "All right. Wait, when did you go?" And poor lad, he'd only been to see the Ariana Grande concert.
Oh no, bless him.
Yeah, and I was like, so upset. And he's like, I'm fine. I was like, no, but I'm really upset about your experience of that beautiful county because it's got so much more going for it. But he'd gone all that way for that. Yeah, and that was the difference because it wasn't touristy. He was like, come in, try them all. And I was trying them all. I did buy, but it was beautiful.
See, that's the type of thing, though, whereby, and again, it happened to me in Jamaica, I was falling for that, where I was like, oh my God, I'm getting this really local experience. He's teaching me all the best rums to buy and everything, and I paid $50 for a bottle of rum that I could find at home for £16. So I'm the mug that will just stumble across. Yeah, do you get what I mean? I am a mug. This is the short version of this conversation. I am so gullible, and I think I'm getting this really like, oh my God, this is so cool. No. Apparently I have a very welcoming face, which I've never heard that before, but when it comes to being...
You know that people don't try to sell to me at all, even when I want to buy. But the spa people, I said to my friend, do not make eye contact with them. Do not make... But then Chris was like, I might do a massage on the first day. And I was like, yeah, you can do, but just be warned. I told him what happened to you. Anyway, I said, are you booking it? He went, yeah, I don't think I will.
Do you know what? The only bit of feedback I've ever had from one of our sales managers of Royal Caribbean whenever they've listened to the podcast is about how aggressive we are towards spa hosts. They're not meant, other than just saying, like, you do a great job. That's the most they've said, but they've only commented on it just like, our spa hosts are really lovely on our ships. I'm like, no, it's a blanket thing across the industry.
Nobody, they didn't, they're there, but they're not in your face, and they weren't, nobody chased us. But then people don't like selling to me, so. But Chris was going to do one. He was going to do one, and he didn't. But that was Princess, not Royal Caribbean.
I say his Princess have ruined my reputation as spa host for the entire cruise industry, to be honest. Like, never again will I go anywhere near it. A lot of my students used to go and work and a lot of them worked on Royal Caribbean. They used to go and work on the cruise lines as hairdressers. And they travelled the world and had a great time. But yeah. I've been in the Royal one and I've been in Celebrity, to be honest. They've been lovely. They've been more helpful, very thorough, which is the bit that I don't like, because I don't care what it does. I just want to know what the spa looks like. But they've never been pushy. They've never been kind of like gaslighting like the Princess ones were. So I have nothing. I've never done a spa. It's not really my idea of a holiday, going on a cruise to have a spa treatment, but we do it for work on ship visits and things like that. And I think every Royal spa I've been into have been lovely. They've let me kind of guide what I'm interested in and shown me those things, and obviously proudly shown me the other facilities rather than like, you look like you could benefit from this.
I think Chris was terrified when I told him that. But our friends they did the gym. They used the gym in the mornings, and Teresa went on did yoga. Fraser used the weights. But Chris and I have our 3 laps around deck, don't we? And 10 flights of stairs. So we just do that as our routine. But yeah, I loved the ship. It's not my favourite Royal Caribbean ship.
No,
it's just not. But I loved it. And I'm so glad we got to do the North Star, and but for me, and it's a really small thing, the real highlight was the Laser Quest. She booked it, I thought. And they set it up on in the Sportsplex.
Yeah.
So they set it up on there, and as I say, there was families on there. There was a couple of blokes. It was all mates, and it was so competitive. But these 2 blokes were targeting me and my friend, like shooting us constantly. I thought I was shooting them. Turns out I wasn't. But it was just brilliant. We had so much fun. So, and it's stuff like that sometimes I would have ruled out, because they were there. I did it.
And sometimes you need that, don't you? That you need that kind of like the child in you to come out and have a bit of fun. Because, and we'll talk about it on the next episode maybe. But like there was this experience I did with like a crane machine, and I was writing up my script about it type of thing. And I was like, I did get ripped off, but for 10 minutes I was like a little kid. And it's like that's more important to me. Like I don't have a bad feeling about getting ripped off, because I had a lovely time. It was great fun.
I have got a crane machine story actually.
Oh, have you?
So. My daughter she's an autistic adult, so she's 30, and she's obsessed with ducks, collecting ducks. So everywhere we went, she was looking for ducks. There was some little ones. There was this American lady on that she was sharing ducks, who was lovely. And like one day she had a duck, and I went and stood with her, and I went, this looks really mad, because I'm a grown woman, and I'm asking if I can take that duck. And I know you're sharing them for the children. So I explained the story, and she went, well, call her up and get her to come and get the duck. So she came to get the duck off this lovely lady, and then she got this bracelet out of a little duck, a little silver bracelet, and she was so kind to her. But then they got to a stage where she wasn't finding ducks. So Teresa and I were going to the crane machine and win every time to win a duck. So every day we're getting a couple of ducks, stuffing them in our bag, and hiding them like near us, and she'd be like, "Oh, duck!" And so when I did it, I didn't win. Chris is like, "How can you not win? It's win every time." So I went to the desk and said, "It says win every time on the machine, and I haven't won." And this woman looked up at me, and you could see she couldn't quite believe what she was hearing. So I said, look, I feel I need to explain myself. It's for my daughter, my goddaughter, and explained. And she was like, Right, okay, so she'd give me a duck. And Chris is like, I don't think I've ever shamed as much in my life as a grown adult complaining in the kids' arcade she doesn't want a duck. But yeah, she was lovely and she took pity and gave me a Royal Caribbean duck, which, yeah. But I mean, even stuff like that, like the ducks, it's like not something I've really done before.
I love a bit of branded swag. Like, if there's a Royal Caribbean duck, trust me, I'm going to be hunting it down and I'm going to find it now. I'm going to look on the legend one to see if I can get one.
They do a lot of duck hit, but in the arcade you can do them on the grab machine. But yeah, this lady takes loads and hides them everywhere for the children. And that, I mean, what a lovely lady. So she was really kind. So, sorry, you were going to ask me a question, but I
forgot what the question was. So before we wrap up then, just quickly to touch upon it, did you see any of the shows and the entertainment on board?
I saw the book, and it was okay. Very indulgent, I thought.
Is this the 270 show?
Yes, yeah. And the casts were excellent. The costumes were amazing. Everything about it was amazing. There was nothing that wasn't. I just think I had a few too many wines, maybe. And I think because I review theatre every week, I go to Manchester and review theatre. It's part of my job. Yeah. But I don't drink.
Right.
And I think that makes a big difference. So, so Chris is the anti-show, as you know. He hates shows. So he doesn't even come to the theatre with me in Manchester. I take other people because he's just not into it. So I don't usually do them on a cruise for that reason. So Teresa and Ashley did quite a few and really enjoyed them. But yeah, it was okay. But then I didn't love the one on Celebrity either. It's very visual and everybody loved it. Everybody loved it.
I've only seen the one on Spectrum, so I can't really compare. But 270, for those that don't know anyway, 270 is a really cool venue at the back of the Quantum class ships. It's called 270 because it has a 270-degree angle view overlooking the aft of the ship. And they do this really cool kind of lots of different technology, isn't it? That's the best way I can explain 270. Like, they've got robotic arms, they've got like screens on the robotic arms that all come together and change shape. They're really cool. They come down on like a conveyor, on like an elevator almost, and move around. They do, I don't know if they do it on Quantum, but on Spectrum they do video projection on the whole back of the wall of the ship as well. You've got performers coming out of the ceiling, out of the floor. Like, everywhere you look, there's something happening around you. So it is definitely a spectacle, but I think that by its nature means that it's a bit abstract as well, because it's not like one central stage where everyone's dancing and performing together. It's like things everywhere.
That is the thing I will say, is that I'm at the theatre, as I say, every week, and I always look at where the people have come from. And, you know, like back in the day, they used to say cruise entertainers cheesy. A lot of them now, when you look at the theatre, a lot of them have worked on cruise ships. These are really talented
100%.
people.
Yeah.
And do you know what I think for me? There was too much going on. It was...
Really?
But everybody loved it. But I think it was because I'd had wine, because that is not my usual theatre experience. I don't drink. Because I'm reviewing it, I've got to concentrate, and I don't think I could concentrate the same. And those screens that were moving, I think they were sort of hypnotising me. So I was watching them, watching that. So yeah, I mean, there was nothing. They're super, super talented, and everybody there loved it. I just think I struggled.
Did you make it to the main theatre? Sorry, did you see any of the headline shows?
No,
because I know they've got effectors on that ship, which is
they
incredible.
went to that. They went to that and really enjoyed it. They said that they preferred that to the book. They really, really enjoyed that. So I think, like, on the next one, I'll go on the ice show.
Well, we have to go watch Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, don't we, when we go?
Oh, we do.
We've got to make sure we see that.
I don't know how they're going to do that. I just don't know how they're going to do it without children.
I know. It's going to be interesting, but I'm really looking forward to it, because I don't think I've seen a full production show, as in like a main West End Broadway show on a royal ship yet, because every ship I've been on hasn't had one.
And that is the difference, I think, is that that's what I like. I like the Broadway, the West End shows, and like I loved Cats when I watched Cats. But then a lot of people didn't like Cats. They do a great job of everything they do, and you know the silent disco. You know what? I love a silent disco.
I hate a silent disco. My God, like the cringiest
I found a video
thing.
today of it, and I really cannot sing, but I was singing. But then when it's obviously just on a video, you're like, oh my God, I'm not sharing that with the sound on. But yeah, so there's so much going on in the ship that it just makes it such a great experience.
That's always my thought about every royal sailing I've ever done, is just the atmosphere is so cool because there's always something happening. There's always karaoke, a quiz, a comedian, the bumper cars. I think you really need to struggle to go on a royal ship and be bored, because even if you're somebody who just loves like sunbathing, drinking by a bar, there's tons of choice for that as well. And this is the reason why I think Royal has just become one of my favourite cruise lines, because I'm excited at the thought of being on board and going, oh my gosh, yeah, I forgot they do that. And oh my God, they do that as well. And I just love that. And I think no matter which class of ship you're on, they've all got nuances, pros and cons type of thing. But I think the core Royal experience at its heart is an incredible way to cruise.
We did very well with the pop quiz. We did well
you?
with that. We won the first night, and then
did you?
Came second and third the rest of the cruise.
Oh.
So that's just like we loved doing that. We really enjoyed that every night before dinner.
So is there anything you want to kind of share, anything else you think you may have missed out more about kind of the experience of sailing on Odyssey more than anything, or sailing with Royal Caribbean? So you think you want to add in before we wrap up?
Well, the family that we went with, it was their second Royal Caribbean cruise. Their older son, it was his first, and we're booking our next one tomorrow, which says everything. They just loved it. I think the whole vibe, I think it's great for bringing people together. I think it's great that you've got all different options for all different budgets of food. I love my speciality dining. They like the main restaurant. So, yeah, I think at times the restaurant can be too busy, but then that's a big ship. That's what you get, isn't it? And that's why you've got all your different options. No, I'd say it's a really, really great ship. I do love the Oasis class, but I wouldn't be put off going on Odyssey again because it's just brilliant. We had such a good time.
Good. I'm excited for Spectrum. Like, we're doing it again this November, and we're doing it again in March on a hosted trip. So, as much as I constantly talk about the fact that she's a bit of a Marmite class, it's incredible regardless. Like, it's just, there are pros and cons. But I think you can say that about every class of ship. I think even when we go on the Icon class, we're going to find pros and cons. And the big con is probably going to be the sheer number of people. And, there's always going to be a trade-off for everything. So for all the good things about the class, there will always be things to kind of mention. I think it's just the Quantum class is unusual in the Royal Fleet, just because they tried to change a lot of things. So I know this is a nerdy thing that I've learned. The Quantum Ultra, which is what Spectrum and Odyssey are, they're kind of evolutions of the Quantum class. The things they tried to change with Anthem and Quantum of the Seas, they got rid of basically on Spectrum and Odyssey. So like the 4 different dining rooms and the layout things that they kind of introduced, they kind of softened them a little bit on the last 2 ships in the class. So probably the reason why we don't feel them as much on those 2 ships. But they're an incredibly popular class of ship. They're designed for multi-weather. So they've got the kind of solarium, the indoor pool. They've got the adult-only solarium as well, which is also indoors. They're designed for the colder weather climate, which is why she goes to Alaska on Quantum of the Seas. Anthem sails a lot now, at least anyway, kind of Australia and kind of Asia as well. And again, because of that temperate climate, she's great for that because you can go inside if you need to and avoid the kind of thunderstorms, subtropical weather. Same with Spectrum, China. The weather's so variable. It's quite cold in the winter, quite warm in the summer. So again, they can control that climate a little bit better because there's a lot more inside space, which is great when you sail in those regions that the weather can be a bit unbearing.
Yeah. One tip I will get actually is so say that if you want to do, and I know it's different in China, but in Europe and America you can do the iFly and you can do the North Star for free on a port day. So if you want to do that, it's all changed now because you used to have to do it when you got on. And I get it, they've made it fairer because obviously if you get an early boarding time, so now it's every day at 5:00 the day before.
Right.
So if you want to do it tomorrow at 5:00, those slots open. So that's really useful to know because it took me a couple of days to find that out. But when that slot opens, you can then go on. And I think the tenders work like that as well now. They did on our sailing. So no traipsing down and getting your tender ticket in the morning. You do it at 5:00 the day before.
Okay.
And that made things really easy. And that is one thing Royal Caribbean are brilliant at, and that's channeling and organising people. And it just shows that they're still improving that, and they improved it again this time. So I appreciated having that at 5:00 if you want to do it, you've got to have your wits about you and do it.
And I think it's good because this will come up in the Virgin episode, but all the activities were bookable the second you got on the Wi-Fi. But when I get on board Virgin, my priority is food and drink and sail away. So I missed the booking window for the entire week, basically. So we struggled to do any of the exclusive Alaska stuff for the 10 nights we were on board because it all sold out within a couple of hours. So people were changing their minds. So the advice became just do the walk up then. So go to the event and we'll probably lay you in, which is what happened. but it just means people are booking stuff at the beginning of the week and may not actually have the time later in the week to do it.
Yeah.
And I think it's it's unfair type of thing. So it's probably a better way to do it, that you kind of plan it a bit later on, so it spreads people out of. By that point, they're not going to book things for the FOMO factor and then block other people out from being able to do something.
Which is obviously what used to happen. And we'd got an early slot, so I was like, right, get on, book all that. And they were like, oh, you can't do that anymore. And at first I thought, but then I thought, no, that's fair, because if you've got a 4 o'clock and it's all gone, that's not fair. So they've done it so it's fair for everybody. So it's just another way. And when we got off the ship, I said to Chris, this is the only cruise line that is so easy to get off.
Yeah. On disembarkation, you mean, or tendering?
Yeah. No, disembarkation on the last day. NCL took us 2.5 hours to get off the ship. You just walk off. It's so organised and getting on. They're just brilliant at organising people, and I think they excel at that.
Yeah, well, it's why I love them at the end of the day. The organisation behind how they run a ship, celebrities the same. They're probably up there with the most efficient in regards to the size of the ships. You think it would be a nightmare, but it seems to be effortless and is a gift to how well they organise the ships and plan things.
Definitely.
But if the guys want to find any other guides, so I know you've got tons of port guides everywhere. You've obviously got kind of guides to the different cruise ships, all that type of stuff. Where's the best place the guys can follow you if they want to keep up with your travels, but also find all your content?
So you can find the content over on Mini Travellers, and you can find us on Mini Travellers on TikTok and on Extraordinary Chaos on Instagram.
And then equally, guys, if you want to follow my adventures, or equally if you're interested in booking a cruise or a holiday with me, you can find me online on socials under Magical, TRVLR, or on my website, which is magical-traveller.com as well. Other than that, guys, I hope you've enjoyed this episode, and we'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye.
Bye.